Hey guys, this is the start of the Foothills Trail. We are hiking in at Bad Creek Access. This is Rusty, my mentor.
How you doing?
This is our setup. We're gonna go in for 2 nights, come back the third day. See you guys on the trail.
For my backpack on the first trip. The only difference was my hammock. And my hammock, I chose a lighter hammock just due to the fact of comfort. Alright. The weight of the hammock, or not the hammock, but the whole bag, is 9.21 kilograms. My scale is in kilos, but I will go over here and convert it. Be right. I used this diet before my trip so I could lose 22 pounds in 1 month. And that's what I did. I lost 22 pounds, and that's how I laid 22 pounds less for my first trip. I was super excited, and it really helped a lot. It was a good help to always remind yourself to stay healthy, and caffeine really makes you get bigger. To my surprise, my backpack and all of my gear for the first trip weighed 20 pounds. That is crazy. I thought it was going to be around more 15, but I guess I didn't factor in. I guess I got different straps, and my backpack itself weighed almost 9 pounds. That's something I should have thought about in the beginning, is getting a lot lighter backpack. But this backpack distributes the weight very well and very efficiently. I'll see you on the trail.
Give me something brighter, give me something I can see. Give me something vicious, give me something I can be. Give me all the love and peace to end these wars. Give me something safe, something worth fighting for. Clear enough to me. I see is evidence of who I need. Give me an answer, give me the way out, give me the faith.
We are close to the Thompson River. We've hiked in about 4.5 miles, give or take. Nice cold windy day, that's for sure. Catch up with you guys at the river.
Give me motivation, give me all my heart's desires. Show me something gorgeous, show me till my eyes get tired. Give me all the drums and show me how to play them loud. Show me how to move when I can't feel the drum around. It's clear enough.
We're a couple miles in, eating lunch at the Thompson River. Got another, 4 miles to go? 4-ish, maybe more.
Wherever we feel like stuff.
Yep. See you at the campsite.
Hard time. Give me the answer. Give me the way out. Give me the faith to believe in these hard times.
So after a long day climbing steep
We
mountains,
hide like thieves in the shadows. Get on the sun.
We ended up actually base camping here for day 2.
We know the light will find us and all we've done. Give me an answer, give me a way out, give me the faith to believe in the.
So we ate dinner right here. This is a big campsite, and we found this already pre-made fire pit. And it was about 30 feet from my mentor's tarp, or hammock and tarp. It was right on the river edge, and this is where we would cook our food, where we would sit down in the mornings when it was really cold, eat our breakfast, and that's where we would regroup towards the end of the day. and just have fun and hang out. Coolest part about this pit was there was already pre-made logs for us to sit down on, and we could have just hung out all day there.
Shortfalls and little sins, close calls when no one wins. Stand tall but running thin, I'm wearing thin. Oh, why are we keeping score? 'Cause if you're not laughing, who is laughing now? I've been wondering,
Hey guys,
if we start singing,
day 2, Foothills Trail
would we stand
in
our
Hillary
ground?
Falls. We camped at the base of it last night.
And through everything we learned, we finally come to terms.
We heard a thud in the middle of the night, and we woke up to find a giant tree laying between our hammocks. On our way to horse pasture, it is the first stop in our day hike, and it is around 6 mile round trip today. See you guys on the trail.
I'm not leaving without a fight.
We almost got lost, but we're thankful that we found these. These are white trail markers that show us that we are on the Foothills
Long
Trail.
it don't make you right. No, you ain't right. Oh,
We ended day 2 with a nice long fire and the thought of the daunting task ahead of us. As crazy as it sounds, these stairs were a welcome sight as we knew we were almost done with our completed journey. All we knew was we just had to hike down to the parking lot. After a long hike, we finally made it back to the car and we realized we went 21.3 miles. That was crazy.
and through everything we learned, we finally come to terms.
Hey guys, I thought I would go over the gear that I used on both of my backpacking trips. This here is the backpack that I used. It is an Osprey Ether 70. It's a 70-liter pack. The reason I chose this one is I just wanted, because they have a 65 and a 70-liter version. I wanted the 70 just so I could put a little bit more stuff in my pack just in case I needed it. One of my favorite things about this pack is the actual straps that are on it. These straps go on a higher dollar pack, one of the Expedition series, and I got them to get put on here for no cost extra. These actual straps, what they'll do is they'll heat them up and they'll mold them to your body. So there's no reason they should not fit you. Another thing I like about it is this. You see how I have a hydration tube coming out of here? Well, there is a 2-liter hydration bladder that is put in here. So that actually helps with not carrying as much water as I had to. This all looks a little overwhelming, so let's start over here. This is the gear that I would bring if it was a little bit chillier and if it was just going to be testing the temperature rating of my gear. I'd bring a balaclava that helped keep my head warm, and I'd bring an extra down jacket. That down jacket would, in my opinion, replace 2 regular jackets just because of the insulation qualities that it has with it. I would pack all of my clothes in this big blue waterproof cinch compression bag, I guess. Also, don't forget to always bring a bandana. I made that mistake the first trip, but I always remembered to bring it after that. It helps because it can just wick sweat off of your face, or you can use it as a bandana, or you can use it in case of an emergency to filter water. This right here is my pack cover. In case it starts to rain, I have something that can keep my pack dry and all my stuff dry. This is my light. This is probably one of my favorite lights just because it's waterproof. And I didn't think I'd have to use any waterproof stuff, but the second trip I realized I would definitely have to. It's a very bright light. It's around 240 lumens, and it lasts about a whole trip if I'm using it constantly. I'd also like to bring is like a foot pad. I use this and I'd put it in my sleeping bag, or I would put it on the ground, somewhere I can just keep stuff, keep it out of the way. It's a piece of Reflectix. You could buy this at any really home improvement store is what I think I bought it from Home Depot. This in the back is what was probably the hardest to get. It looks like a sleeping bag, but what it is a sleeping bag for the bottom of your hammock. In the hammock camping world, we would call that an underquilt. What it does is it stops convection from the ground and convection from the wind, making you really chilly at night. Now onto the cook set. This whole thing right here is what I use to cook my food. I have a cup, I have a pot, and this is what I'd boil my water in, and then this is my stove. It might not look like much, but this stove, what I would do is I'd pour an ounce of alcohol on the top, and I would light it, and there's wicking material all around the outside. That would create a really inexpensive alcohol stove that would boil all my stuff in 6 minutes. I'd bring a piece of aluminum foil along with me so I could put it under my alcohol stove, and what that does is act as a vapor barrier so that the alcohol doesn't get seeped into the ground and whatnot. This is a windscreen. It's a little homemade, but when you're trying to go lightweight and save some money, that's what you gotta do. I also made these. These are koozies. What you can do is, let's say if I'm boiling some water and I just finished and I don't want to touch it with my hands, what I do is I just put it in there and it'll keep my hands from getting burnt, and it keeps the water inside very warm. Container that I would put all the alcohol in for my stove, and I would usually bring 1 or 2 of these. It really just depended on whether or not I was going to be bringing more dehydrated meals or more make on my own meals. Always bring an extra salt and pepper shaker. Or not an extra, just a salt and pepper shaker. I found out that some of the dehydrated meals definitely needed that. Okay, so on to fire. We didn't really go out to have a crazy fire, but I always brought waterproof matches, a lighter, and 2 of these wet fires, just in case we really needed one. We did get to have a fire, so it was a really nice trip because we actually had one of those. Back onto the cold night stuff, always bring toe and hand warmers. That saved me the second night on the first trip. It was absolutely amazing to have toe warmers and hand warmers. A journal. You'll never know when you need a journal. Just in case you want to write something down for the next trip so you don't forget, or maybe write some ideas down that you had, always bring a journal. It's probably one of the best things you can do. Since I was charging a GoPro and my iPhone for video, what I used this power bank. It had 4,000 milliamp hours, so it would charge my iPhone twice, and that was about it. Trekking poles are a must. I promise you will not regret buying a pair of trekking poles. Just make sure when you go to either your REI or Cabela's, they properly fit you. I had the first pair of trekking poles that I had, and I absolutely hated them. I switched off to these, and I will never buy a different brand again. So what made my pack a little heavier was I was bringing camera gear along. This is my Rode VideoMic Go. I would bring this to have optimal sound quality. I also brought my GoPro Hero 4. I had it on a chest mount, and I also brought this mount. This mount would strap onto my trekking pole, and it would make some really cool shots. I also have an extra mic that I didn't bring on the second trip, but I brought before I had the other one. This is a little clip-on mic, but the only way to use it is with this case, and I can't use my waterproof one. And last, my waterproof case. I had this because there were some cool water shots, but I don't think they work too well. And then I'd bring 4 GoPro batteries. These are so small and charged that in an hour they'd be done, so I had to bring 4. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my gear video. This is the gear that you will need to go lightweight hammock backpacking in the winter. See you on the trail. Alright, now let's check the weight for my second trip. 8 point... Excuse my shakiness. 8 point... Let's just go with 8.41. My backpack for the second trip only weighed around 18 pounds. All because I changed out this, my hammock. Isn't that crazy? It just shows, or goes to show, that the different material goes a long way when you go to lightweight backpacking. So this is the weights of all of my gear for the backpacking trips. The changes that were in the first trip were actually added to the second trip, and you can see the difference in weight. Another thing that I added was trekking poles. Even though I was walking with them, they weren't in my bag. So how do you eat on the trail? Well, let me show you. I would bring Mountain House meals for my consumables. These are freeze dried, and all you have to do to create these is just add hot water to them, or in some cases cold water. So these do not count in the pack weight because they will be consumed. Same with the fuel and the water. So this is my setup. This is my pot. It would hold 16 ounces of water, and then that is my stove. This stove is what we call an alcohol stove. It's got wick material in the inside, and then it has a little pot stand on top. I'd put a piece of aluminum foil down on the ground, and we call that a vapor barrier. What that does is help reflect the heat back up to the water so it boils more efficiently. And here's my windscreen. It's a homemade windscreen, and it works perfect. Now, the reason we use alcohol stoves in the woods, or at least the reason I do, they're lightweight. The fuel, I only bring 2 ounces of fuel with me. I can get a boil going in 6 minutes, and that's it. All I would do is, after I'd fill this pot up with hot boiling water, I'd pour it into one of these Mountain House meals, and I'd let it sit, and that would be my dinner. Another thing that was really cool, these koozies. I made koozies, so if I was making coffee, like let's say here's my pot, or one of my cups. I would put this in its koozie, and then I would have something to drink out of without burning my hand. Now, how would I make my meals like these, like that pepper steak back there? Tastes a little better. Salt and pepper. Greatest backpacking essential ever. So, that is the cook set that I used on my backpacking trip. That saved me about 3 pounds from using our regular canister stove to an alcohol stove. I'll see you on the trail.
I got dreams that keep me up in the dead of night, telling me I wasn't made for the simple life. There's a lot I see, but it's far in the distance. I'm asking you to show me some forgiveness. It's all for you in my pursuit of happiness. I got a homesick heart, but a long ways left to go. I've been doing my part, but I ain't got much to show. So I'm asking you to show me some forgiveness. It's all for you in my pursuit of happiness. Chasing that life, moving on cause I had to prove there ain't no life worth doing what I did to you. So I'm asking you to show me some forgiveness. It's all for you in my pursuit of happiness. I got dreams that keep me up in the dead of night, telling me I wasn't made for the simple life. There's a lot I see, but it's far in the distance.
We cooked 100 feet from our campsite, and because we were in bear country, we had to follow the triangle rule. 100 feet away we would cook, and we would store our food in another direction about 100 feet. So my campsite was right at the tip of both of those in the triangle.
I've been working all night, hoping you can help me to believe this song ain't nothing if the song can't set you free. So I'm asking you to show me some forgiveness.
Hey guys, we made it to Shining Rock. Just kidding, this is a lot smaller, but it's like Shining Rock, just hundreds of times smaller. Shining Rock is about 3 miles that way, in that little green patch over there in the woods. So we got a little bit of walking to do. It's a lot farther than it looks. It might not be 3 miles. So we made it to camp, and this was honestly the darkest trip I've ever been on. There was no stars, nothing. And it was pretty sketchy once we saw that, or once we realized we were in bear country. Yep, oh yeah. Drying out my sneakers. That's what happens when you step in a mud puddle in the middle of the mountain and you can't even find woods. Alright, let's see if I can swap, or you can kind of see it back here. And then towards getting his stuff organized, and I'll show you my little... Alright, ignore my stupid hat, leave me alone. This is my setup. Got a new sleeping bag for this trip. Hopefully it works better to a better degree. Throwing that down jacket right over my toes just so I don't get cold there. We kind of got like a little creative on this cart setting up. So I have a big tarp and Rusty's got a personal tarp. So we just hung our hammocks fairly close and we doubled them up because why not? We're on the side of a mountain, who cares? This is America. Anyway, that's all I really have to say about this. I'll see y'all in the morning. So, black bear country is awesome. If I was a black bear, I'd want to live here too. Is that a mosquito? I found a mosquito, dude.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Like just a second ago. Good thing I got this half bug net because I'm gonna be using it tonight.
Well, if it gets as cold as it was.
So it's 7:30 in the morning. It wasn't supposed to rain last night, but it started around 2:30 and a lot of lightning. It was pretty cool. But being on the side of a mountain isn't the greatest place to be. I don't know if you can hear the wind, but it's pretty intense. It sounds like it's fighting. It's been like that since 2 in the morning. Slept good. Stayed warm, and there's a giant water puddle up beside me, but it's not in my gear, so that's good. Oh, deciding whether or not to get up. Probably not.
Hey guys, as you can see, it's very windy out, and this is the front of the storm coming in, the winter storm that's coming in tomorrow, and then the cold's coming in tonight. And the wind chill not counted in. I think it feels like it's going to be 17 tonight, and we're deciding now if we're going to stay or leave because that is a very, very low limit for our gear. I mean, you guys can see these giant trees. They're like, I mean, we had 50-mile-an-hour gusts last night, and there was a huge storm that came through, thunder, lightning, all that kind of stuff. And we stayed dry, but it was windy. Just imagine one of these things falling on you, yeah. This is one of them that's tied up to our hammocks. Yes, all of you who think that's deadfall, it's fine. That's nothing. But we'll keep you posted. Close to Flower Knob on the Art Lobe, right next to Shining Rock. So, we made a decision. I don't know if you can hear the wind. It is 50-mile-an-hour gusts. You got to remember that storm that just came through last night. Well, I mean, I called my folks and it said that they knocked power out. We're up here at 6,000 feet on a mountain. That storm hit us pretty hard. Tonight it's supposed to get down to 17 with the same kind of wind, so we've made the decision to come out. It's just, it's a lot. I mean, that'll be taking our gear. I mean, 17 degrees by itself, no wind chill we could do, but with the wind chill, it'd be in the single digits. So we're eating breakfast. We're gonna pack up and we're gonna head out to the car. See y'all on the trail.
I don't know if y'all can see this, but I'm gonna hold my hand down. I don't know if you take it away. I mean, the wind literally can push you over. We're at the Shining Rock Wilderness sign. That means we have just left the actual wilderness area. Look at those beautiful mountains over there. Holy cow. Yeah, this is the reason we're not staying another night. It'd be this and 17 degrees. So, no thank you. Y'all are more willing to do it. We'll see you back on the trail. Let's see if it'll give us one more big gust. Man. It's pretty windy up here. But it is beautiful, that's for sure.
For what you're doing, there's There's no excuses for what you're doing.